Kristen Zeman was the first woman to serve as chief of the Aurora Police Department. She was also a finalist for the top cop job here in Chicago and Nashville before she decided to retire last year.
She has written a book about her experiencing, focusing on police reform, race relations, women's empowerment, and more. It is called Reimagining Blue: Thoughts on Life, Leadership, and a New Way Forward in Policing. And she joins us live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for your time this morning. I want to start by asking you, the spotlight on policing, of course, has been on Uvalde, Texas here the last couple of weeks. What are your thoughts on the police response to that mass shooting?
Oh, that is a complex question, and I'm on the team right now that is reviewing the incident in Uvalde, and I've been appointed by the DOJ. So I'm going to reserve judgment until we, the DOJ, have completed our investigation. But what I can say with the video that has come out, that information is out, and you can really compare it to the other mass shooting incidents that have happened, most recently at the parade, and of course in Aurora, where officers were shot one after another going in to neutralize the threat. So I think I'll just leave it right there and let others make their own assessment.
Well, let's see, you talked about that mass shooting at the Aurora factory in 2019. 6 people were killed. You were police chief at the time and were fresh off this incident in Highland Park. It's exasperating to the everyday citizen out there that they just can't believe this is still going on. As someone in law enforcement, how do you approach it? What can be done?
This is the reason that I actually left my tenure a little bit earlier than I had intended, to go around and speak on this very topic, on prevention and preparation, sadly, because, but we need to focus on the prevention. People ask, should we change the law? Should we make them more stringent? And the answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that we're missing a pretty big gap here. And that is the fact that we are tripping over red flags. In 99 out of 100 of these mass shootings, there have been signs. And in my profession, we call that a clue. And so I want to change the culture of reporting. I want to make sure that we're spending that time before the incident happens, and we're trying to prevent it from that viewpoint.
When you talk about red flags, are you talking about social media? You think there should be members of a police department that just investigate those things, or should the family have an easier way of reporting things? Should the police have intervened? Give us an example of what you mean.
Yes, D, all of the above. So right now, we look to the police for what we do for so many things in society. And if there is a threat or maybe a questionable, let's say, YouTube video, as was in several of these incidents, then what can be done? Because local police departments are saying, okay, so we have the Fourth Amendment. We can't just go into someone's house and get their guns. And this is what makes this such a complex issue. So the police are being asked to do something when yet nothing has been done. But there's this gap, and this is where I think it's not yet there, is that there needs to be a group, regardless of whether they're a law enforcement arm under that umbrella, or they're practitioners, social workers, even social media companies. Let's talk about private partnerships and public partnerships that can perhaps look at some of these red flags, and now we can develop a threat matrix. So then the question becomes, okay, well, here's a threat, or at least something that makes our spidey senses tingle. What next? Who should intervene? Maybe it might not be the police, but this is where we have to throw money, legislation, and manpower, is that gap right before the thing happens, because those are the red flags I'm talking about that we are tripping over.
Moving on to the book that you wrote, you cover a lot of topics here. You talk about women in law enforcement. For women who want a career in law enforcement, what advice would you have for them?
I think that you just go for it. I mean, we are notoriously 12% as far as females in law enforcement, and it's been that way, that number for many years. And for some reason, it doesn't draw as many women to the profession, and that could be because of the hours, or it could be because of perhaps the culture, that it being male-dominated field. That career has been remarkable. It's the noble profession when we are at our best. And so I would say anyone, not just women, but anyone who wants to pursue a career in law enforcement, who is compassionate and has an ability to problem solve, should do that.
I know here in Chicago, the numbers are down for police officers, a lot of them retiring, and it's just the pressure is too great, around the country. What's your advice for getting police departments to be able to recruit quality officers?
Yeah, we're looking at really a crisis here, not only of retirees who are leaving the profession. And, I liken that a lot to maybe that there's not a lot of public support. And so law enforcement officers, and it's the ebb and flow of policing. Over the years, police officers have been held in high regard. And then an incident happens across the nation that sends a ripple effect. And we're all painted with a broad brush, which is sad because there are so many amazing police officers and millions of police contacts that go unnoticed every day. But as far as recruiting, for me, it's when I look at those who are still pursuing this profession, that tells me everything I need to know about them, that they're coming in now, at a point when really we're at a low point in this profession. So it tells me that we're getting the right people who are coming into the job. But I think the public perception, and a Gallup poll just came out, and it's nearly 70% of people approve of police officers and the profession itself. So I think that pendulum will start to shift, and I think we'll see those numbers increase.
All right, Kristen Ziemann, the first woman to serve as chief of the Aurora Police Department. We appreciate your time this morning. There is the information there. You can check out more at KristenZiemann.com. You can follow her on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks again.
Thank you.